game, baby. Madden NFL 2003. EA Sports. It's in the game. Madden NFL 2006.
Time to make history. Back to the bird. Woo!
Everyone, and welcome to the TML Podcast. My name is Sonny Weaver, and I'm here today with Mr. JD Cox. How you doing?
Good. How about you, Sonny?
I'm doing pretty awesome myself. I've got some good news today. You're the new owner and the new general manager of the Saints.
Yeah, that's some great news. I get to inherit the last regime's mistakes, like releasing Junior Gillette. Just fantastic move, guys.
I mean, dude, it's pretty crazy, and then you're trying to trade away all your future talent or, former talent like Mark Ingram, Jarius Byrd, and Brendan Browner.
You're calling Jarius Byrd talent, right? The guy who can't even cover a receiver man-to-man? Get with the times, dude. Safeties are being asked to cover man-to-man more than ever.
Wow, I just didn't know about this, and, frankly, I'm just kind of blown away. That you're like, wow, like, I actually thought these guys were good, but you're telling me they're not. Like, what's the problem in practice this week?
The problem in practice this week is that Jarius Byrd can't even cover newly signed wide receiver Chris Durham. He's 6'6", I get that, but Durham ain't the best route runner in the world. He's not the best wide receiver. I had to be understanding a little bit if he wasn't able to cover Marcus Colston, because Marcus has been at this for years, and he's very good at his job. But Durham is a rookie in the scheme, and Byrd still can't just keep up with him.
My thing is that this guy, Jarius Byrd, has been the man for the last couple years. And Mark Ingram has been a solid running back. Yes, he's been slow in the past. He's had some ACL injuries, some lower knee issues, and stuff like that. But Mark Ingram's pretty much just a great back, and Jarius Byrd's been able to cover all these years. What's the problem now?
The problem now is that my new head coach Brady Leland wants a man-to-man cover scheme. There are only a couple people in the roster that can kind of pull it off. Brandon Browner, for all of his glory, is only a zone coverage player. We all know that. He thrived in Seattle because that's what they play mostly.
Man-to-man coverage, and another thing, are you drafting a quarterback this year, or are you sticking with Garrett Grayson?
Drafting a quarterback this year. I think I'll keep that one close to my chest. Grayson's a good QB. We'll see how he develops over the year. Breeze's gospel in New Orleans might be over this year.
Is there any chance Breeze will be traded by week 8?
Not with that cap hit.
Anyway, but there is two quarterbacks on the market that everybody's been talking about. Is the Ohio State QB. He's like 6'4", A accuracy, A+ in throwing power. I mean, this kid just looks like pure stud. There's also a guy from, I'm pretty sure, BYU. He's got some good accuracy. Will you guys be taking the scouts out to BYU and Ohio State this year?
We'll send our scouts out to cover any and all top talent because we're expecting a high draft pick this year.
So you thinking top 5, top 10, or are you even thinking the number 1?
Top 10 at the very least for this team. I love my Saints to death, but this team is not in any place to make any kind of 8-8 or playoff contention. Even if Breeze were able to regain this form back when he won the Super Bowl for the Saints.
So are you thinking that it's just time to redo the whole team?
When you trade away Jimmy Graham, it's time to redo the whole team.
Wow. I mean, like, you thinking of just redoing the defense this year, or redoing the offense, or what's your plans for the draft? Or are you looking free agent-wise?
The biggest plan this year is defense, defense, defense. Here's a couple of people I'm planning on keeping. Here's the people I'm planning on keeping on the defense: Cameron Jordan, Akeem Hicks, Stephon Anthony.
Wow. And that's not a lot of guys, but are you looking at, like, maybe even just trading for a wide receiver to help out, Drew Brees this year or the upcoming future quarterback in the next season?
I feel like Marcus Colston, Brandon Cooks, Chris Durham, and Jason Avant can present a good enough wide receiver combo to the point where they can be the guys. Avant and Colston are getting up there in age, but Brandon Cooks is the steadfast future number one receiver of this offense.
Do you believe that Drew Brees has another year in the tank, or do you think that he's just going to give up by week 8, and then that's it for your season?
It honestly depends on how Brees is feeling through the year.
I mean, you've had all the great draft picks. You've done your scouting. You just bought this team. You know what you were buying into. Is this a team in 2 years, maybe even 3, that'll be a Super Bowl contender team?
I'm betting for the 2 years. The thing about Brees is that if he has one more good year left in the tank, we will go all in. All as best as we can, even with the cap hits from Jari Evans, Junior Gillette, who now regrettably plays for the Redskins. If only he didn't have so many problems.
See, you guys, I think you knew what you're buying into, again. And, I mean, quarterback-wise, you aren't that set. I mean, you have the set quarterback this year. But it's not good enough for next year, probably. I would guess Drew Brees is almost 36, 35 now. Your wide receivers cores are in their 30s. Your offensive line needs to be upgraded. Your running back's okay. I mean, yeah, you can work with him and develop him. Your defense is just total, garbage. I mean, how are you going to take this like piece by piece? Is it drafting, free agency, or?
We're going to be looking towards more of the draft. All the best teams have built themselves through the draft. Get a look at the Patriots. They drafted Tom Brady in the 6th round.
Yes, but Tom Brady was that guy you just never...
he was that one-in-a-lifetime player. And I'm so sorry for interrupting you, but he was that one-in-a-lifetime player you just really never, ever miss out on.
I mean, but Brett Favre was another one. 6th-round pick.
Yeah, of course. These two guys in history, Favre and Brady, will go down as the best quarterbacks in history simply because they were chosen later. And then look what Belichick kept doing. He kept drafting younger quarterbacks, basically telling Brady, this is the guy that's going to be taking your place. And it inspires Brady to play to a whole new level.
Do you believe that the SEC overrates the quarterbacks, such as Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, and in the bigger divisions, other than the MAC-10 and stuff like that? You thinking ACC-wise, or SEC-wise? Do you think they rate the quarterbacks and the players more than the, let's say, Cincinnati team, or, just teams out there that aren't really there, like TCU? They don't really rate them very high. Of course, Andy Dalton did get drafted by Cincinnati, but do you think they underrate the smaller schools?
I do think that's a part of it. For example, if you get a look at Khalil Mack, the dude's a monster for Oakland. He was a monster for Oakland last year, and he only got picked 5th overall, while bums like Jadeveon Clowney are getting a number 1 overall. Yeah, fair enough. But bums like Jadeveon Clowney got picked number 1 overall. The Texans getting paid that money. To be all honest with you, Oakland got lucky. He was still there at the 5th.
Wow, I mean, as you said, I think the only guy that really impressed last year was Jeremy Hill and Odell. Even though Odell was a top 10 pick, Jeremy definitely inspired the running core that comes out of the SEC network. Do you believe the branch that you could be going towards is an ACC or SEC quarterback?
It honestly depends on who's the best out there. Talent always finds a way to come out, regardless of where it comes from.
Do you believe that Sean Payton's going to lead the offense?
I believe that Sean Payton's going to lead the offense. I don't know, to be quite honest with you. It could be a multitude of different things. And I just remembered that Brady Leland is a.k.a. Sean Payton.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you, NFL Coaches Association.
So, as the trade's going through, you've got a trade with the Browns. Brandon Browner and a 4th-round pick for a 2nd-round pick this year. Do you think, although it's still going through the NFL Association office, do you believe that do you think about dropping the 4th-round pick if it doesn't get approved by the NFL Association?
I feel like the NFL Association will approve that trade based on because cornerbacks are really valuable this year. They are so valuable. For example, I recently most heard of Patrick Peterson going not for one, not for two, not for three, but 4 first rounders.
I don't think it would happen in the TML, but I think that if he goes, 3 first-round picks might be the offer for him. I mean, these guys are constantly trying to get better, but I don't think those are one-in-a-lifetime players, and I just believe that's the way that the NFL plays these days. And I think back then the underrated cornerbacks like Deion Sanders, who made the plays and stuff like that, but do you believe that they underrate them now, and then do they underrate the running backs now, like how they used to underrate the cornerbacks? Because back in the day, running backs were taken first round. What Mel Kiper says, though, is running backs, there's still good running backs on the board in the second round, and that he believes every running back should be in the second round. Do you believe the theory?
I really don't think that's true because guys like Adrian Peterson are still out there busting their humps. You have guys like Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard come out there. Those guys should have been first round prospects. It doesn't matter if they hit 30 and suddenly stop being productive. Depending on depending on where they come and what their age is, that's still at least 5 or 6 good years of a good running back, and that's enough right there. That's worth the first round investment.
All right, thank you, JD, for coming on the show, man.
All right, thank you. Have a good one, Sonny.
All right, thanks. That's the TML Podcast, guys. Hope you have a great day.